Hey y'all, I hope you are ready to cook the easiest thing that you will cook all summer. This is the lowest effort of cook aside from the salad that we made last time. Today we're making yogurt and it's going to be a lot simpler than you thought. Oh, it's so good. It's like tangy. Even if you already are making yogurt at your own home, you're gonna wanna stick with us because I'm gonna show you how we flavor it at the end. There's 3 of them that are home runs in my house and one of them that I promise you have not thought about, but you're gonna love. Making yogurt is a chore that I do every single week, and sometimes I'm doing it twice a week because I have a toddler who runs through yogurt and half bowls of yogurt, and sometimes I'm eating yogurt just by myself thinking that she's going to eat it. So yogurt's become a really simple staple in our house. As I was thinking how I would talk with you about yogurt today, I thought, who cares about yogurt? You could just buy it in a tub at the grocery store. And the answer is absolutely. You can buy this at the tub at the grocery store, but what I'm gonna show you today is a way to make yogurt completely sustainable. I can show you a way that you never have to buy yogurt again. So that's kind of the enticing part about making yogurt at home is once you have yogurt, you never, ever have to buy yogurt again if you keep up with it. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm keeping up with my yogurt habit, but I'm also keeping up with yogurt because the last batch of yogurt gave me this little supercharged jar. And this is just, opening things the messiest way possible. Apron for the win. So this is 8 ounces that I took from the last batch of yogurt that I made. If you don't have yogurt that you've already made in the past, we actually hacked this and we just got yogurt from the store, our favorite brand of Greek yogurt, a small little cup, and we did these exact same steps. So I'm gonna do like a homestead conversion where I tell you what I do for my homestead, but then also tell you how you can do it from the grocery store. Get your favorite small cup of Greek yogurt, plain, no sweetener in it from the grocery store. That's gonna be your version of a yogurt starter. I've got a gallon of raw milk from our cow. This can be raw milk from a farm near you, or it can be from your grocery store, totally pasteurized. Either way, this is gonna work. All the love, all the life is gonna come from your yogurt starter. That's gonna have the probiotics, everything that you're looking for in a yogurt is gonna be from your starter, and this is like the base that makes it happen. When I say this is easy, I mean like, why didn't I do this years ago? I just didn't know. I didn't know I could make milk into yogurt. So I don't know the cost benefit of this. I don't know if it really does come out cheaper, but it does reduce your dependency on the grocery store. So if you can start sourcing your milk locally, you're gonna have a way better time keeping milk in your refrigerator than if you only depend on the grocery store. This milk is probably around room temperature. If you wanna keep this a low pasteurized milk, let's say you're starting with raw, then all you do is saute this and you're gonna bring it up to 100 degrees. You can do this on your stove. You can do this completely differently. I've seen people do this in a cooler on like a large batch level. This works for us. I can literally set it and forget it once I get the temperatures correct. So the most labor intensive part of your yogurt is the beginning. Overall, your yogurt is going to batch for 20 to 24 hours, completely up to your taste. The longer it goes, the tangier, the funkier it's gonna get. I usually like ours to go around 20 to 22 hours. I think for us, we found like 22 is about perfect. Even if you cook every batch at 22 hours and you're used to like a yogurt that's consistent every single time from the store, especially if you're working with raw milk, you're gonna have a slightly different taste each time, especially as the seasons change and your cow is eating something different. That's gonna influence this. So there's a little bit of give and take. The give is that you're gonna say, maybe I don't get the exact same result every single time. The take is that you're in control of what you're putting in your family's bellies. So that's a really exciting thing. It's really tempting to put in the yogurt right now. Don't do that. Just hit saute, get it to 100 degrees. Pasteurized temperature is 181 or 186, somewhere in there. So if you're looking to pasteurize your raw milk, go for it. I think pasteurizing raw milk, you might as well just buy pasteurized milk, if that makes sense. It's a lot more expensive to buy raw milk, so I wouldn't go ahead and pasteurize that. But if you're someone who's like, gosh, I'm really nervous about raw milk, just start with a regular grocery store, homogenized, organic if you can get it, if it matters to you. But any kind of milk is gonna work really well with this. So we're just gonna push saute, and then we're gonna come back and check. My milk is straight from the cow, so it's probably gonna be a little bit warmer than we expect. I have little girls in the background watching shows and playing with origami, which is usually the time where I can then accomplish something in the kitchen. And that's why I really like yogurt, is because I can do this in several steps over several days, but the total prep time is probably only like 15 minutes total. So if this is something where you're like, how do I learn a new skill that doesn't take a lot of skill in itself, this is a great one to do. I know that when I first started with yogurt, I was like, okay, all we're gonna do is free myself from buying all the groceries or buying all the dairy, especially once we got a milk cow. I was like, I've got to be out of dairy on my grocery list every single week. So it really alleviates that. But when you get to the end, you're gonna have these byproducts. So you've got yogurt, which will be really soupy, especially if you buy a Greek yogurt. You're gonna notice that Greek yogurt is so thick. Sometimes, if you're an ingredient reader, you're gonna see carrageenan or different gums like guar gum on the back. Those are the things that they put in to make it thick. But this is gonna be completely thick with only your yogurt and your milk added in. At the end, the straining is what turns it into Greek yogurt. I don't know if you knew that, but I didn't know that. I was like, what makes it Greek? This is this special thing. Everyone says it's high in protein. It's fantastic to add to your diet. All they did was strain the yogurt extra. So the steps look like this. We've got our milk in here. It's coming up to temp. I should probably check on that real quick. It goes faster than you think. If you're getting this straight out of the fridge, it's probably going to be around 40 degrees. I have about 5 more until this reaches 100. If you get above 100, let's say higher than 115, wait until your milk cools down. So you're gonna take it off the heat. This is just a little troubleshooting I wish I had known when I first got started. So the original recipe I followed was from someone who really liked, she even says it in the video, she's like, I'm kind of a germ freak, so I'm gonna heat this up to 180, and then I'm gonna let it cool down to 115. Totally fine. Totally unnecessary, especially if you're using raw milk. But if you're even using grocery store milk, that's already been heated to 180 degrees. That's already been pasteurized. So that was just warming it up to a really high heat, and then she's cooling it back down, because if you put your starter in at 180 degrees, it's completely killing all of the yogurt as well. That's the opposite of what you want to do, and your yogurt won't set, and it won't have any of the culture that you're looking for. It won't be like yogurt. It will be like old milk, kind of like pre-cheese. So don't put your starter in when it's that hot. Let it cool back down. So there's no mistakes. Even if you do get it really high, let it cool back down to about 115. And this can just take a little bit of knowing how to work with home ingredients and putting things in at the right times. So now this is at 115. In order to culture your milk, which is what we're doing with the yogurt starter, you only need half a cup. But everybody does their recipes different, and I've just come to realize I like the easy measurement of 1 jar. This is 1 cup of yogurt starter, and I know as long as I take it off at the end of yogurt processing and I fill a jar, I'm covered. I'm not gonna do the wrong amount of yogurt starter in a jar. So you're just gonna pour it in. This has everything you need to make a full batch of yogurt. But something you might want to be prepared for at the end of yogurt is just how much you're gonna get in the yield. So at the end of 1 gallon of yogurt making, I have 1/2 gallon of yogurt. And then I strain that out and I probably get down to just shy of 1/2 gallon. So if you want to double batch this, you can. You probably need a different kind of pot, but you can do this on the stove. You can still heat up your milk to 115 or 100. I just heat mine to 100 because I found that I like that flavor at the end of the game. And after you've got it all into your pot, mix it really, really well. You're trying to get that culture all throughout the milk. You don't want a clump of yogurt. You want the yogurt all the way through to the milk. A few Instant Pot tips that are going to help you have the best yogurt in the end. So the first is take out that little ring that's normally around here. There's this plastic or this silicone ring, and that's what gives your pressure cooker the seal when it's pressure cooking. Today we're not pressure cooking. We're kind of insulating this yogurt, and that seal is going to cause just kind of like a disruption in the biome of your yogurt. It's going to disrupt the cultures multiplying. So take the ring out. We saute it first just to bring it up to temperature because that's just an easy way to make the milk work. And then when I close this up, we're going to hit the yogurt button, and I set mine to 22 hours because I like that flavor. If you want it a little bit more tangy, set it to 24. If you want it less robust or less, I would say less dynamic of a flavor, but then that makes it sound sad. If your palate just likes something a little bit more simple, go less time. So, lid on, yogurt. You'll be tempted to push pressure cooker if you use this a lot. Don't do that. From my own experience, don't pressure cook your yogurt. The vent is open. If you've only used this for pressure cooking in the past, usually you're used to seeing steam come right out here. None of that is going to happen. This is going to be the quietest working member in your kitchen for the next 24 hours. We've just set the Instant Pot. I like mine at 22 hours, so I'm going to come back around this time tomorrow and open it up, and we'll strain this. But because movie magic is amazing, you can see that in just a sec. Okay, we are going to do this fast, furious, and absolutely messy. So, I'm not serving this to anyone else. Do not come at me in the comments with how I prepare my yogurt when it's just our family. But this is the fastest way we've ever done it, is into this, like, I think this is a steamer basket. Like if you're making tamales or like maybe a boil or something. I've never done like shrimp or crab boil. But I use this, and then I usually have a pot, but I used that pot and it's somewhere in here. So we're gonna take the Instant Pot yogurt, strain it through this cheesecloth into a larger colander. You could do just a regular, colander for pasta. And then we're gonna cover it and put it in the fridge, and all that whey is gonna strain out into this bowl. Hopefully, I might need to actually raise this up, but we're gonna strain it out into this clear bowl, and then I can use the whey still for other recipes, but I like the yogurt thick, so this is gonna help make it from regular yogurt to more of a Greek yogurt. You ready? Mm-hmm. Greek.
Why is it gonna be Greek? We're not Greek, we're American.
We all American. We are the women of the all-American team. Oh. We're lucky if that's all the yogurt goes to today, because we're prepping for a storm, y'all. Yogurt is a multi-day process. So when I set this up to get all started and incubated, is that the right? Inoculated? Whatever you do scientifically when you put the starter into the yogurt yesterday, I didn't think that Hurricane Beryl was anything we were going to have to prep for. So today, amongst these kinds of chores and laundry, we're also putting things away outside. We're securing stuff so it's not gonna blow away in the storm. And all of our kitchen looks like this in the middle of chaos. But when we come back tomorrow, and this is gonna be strained into a nice thick Greek yogurt, we're gonna season it. We're gonna flavor it with a couple of things that my family really loves to eat with their yogurt. this will be a much more manageable atmosphere. There won't be laundry on the couch or dishes. I can't promise you there won't be dishes in the sink. It will be a little less hurried. So this is the second step after we've warmed the milk and put the starter in. If you don't like strained yogurt, that's okay. You could just have it as it is, especially if you like a drinkable yogurt. You could put any kind of sweetener in this or drink it plain if you like. But I like mine thicker, so that's what we do this step for, and then next we'll be doing the flavors. The storm has passed, the disaster in the kitchen has passed, and it is beyond time to go ahead and take this yogurt out and then flavor it. So we're gonna do a plain yogurt, we're gonna do a coffee yogurt, and then a vanilla maple syrup yogurt. When it comes to yogurt, you can buy all of the accessories and still default back to like piecemealing something that works for you. When we bought our yogurt strainer, it holds like a quart of yogurt. So in the end, we just got barely enough for 2 servings of yogurt. And I just felt like this was so inefficient. So we rigged something together. This steamer basket is holding about, I think it's like almost 2 gallons worth of yogurt that we made in the Instant Pot. It's just straining, and to keep it out of the way once it's strained, I have it up on an extra bowl, just propped up. So all of this beautiful whey can go to pigs if we want it to. It can go into the freeze dryer and make like a whey powder. There are lots of things you can do with the whey, but I'm actually gonna save some back. I'm gonna put a little bit back into the yogurt so that it's just the right consistency that we like. And then some of it I'm gonna set totally aside because this can be subbed in for buttermilk in a lot of the recipes that we're gonna use just throughout the week. This strained probably too long. So see, we're like clumped up here. I probably don't even need the funnel for this right now. I'm gonna set it aside. So it's super duper thick, but don't fear. If you're like me and you can't really hang with the timeline it takes, like if we'd strained this at 24 hours, I think it would have been a little bit thicker. In fact, if you get closer to the middle of the yogurt in the pot, ooh, it's slippery. It's a lot thinner. So I just use whatever jar I have on hand. And then because I've done this a bunch of times, I know I'm gonna leave a little headroom in order to put some whey back in. I also like to start with it a little thicker because when I put things like, I'm gonna do an espresso yogurt, that already has liquid in it, so it's gonna make it thinner. I do not like drinkable yogurt, but everybody likes a certain consistency. Usually what you're used to, you like the best. So if you don't even like Greek yogurt, then you could have just taken this out yesterday and put it directly into a jar and then use that for your family. So all of this part of prepping yogurt is whatever you like best. Before I forget, I'm gonna set aside like 8 ounces of this yogurt, and then that goes into the fridge to become the starter for my next yogurt. So if your yogurt gets a little funky over time, just start again with a store-bought brand that you like and the flavor, plain flavor, so that you aren't getting anything weird in your yogurt. But when I set this aside, I mark it as starter in the fridge. And then next week, when I make more yogurt, I just come right back to it. You can also do this before you strain the yogurt. It does not matter. The longer your yogurt sits, the more bacteria and natural yeast it's gonna get. So if it starts to take on that kind of brewer beer smell or like just kind of yeasty, I throw mine out and I just start again with a new one. There's no shame in the game of making yogurt. God bless the mason jar. This is our yogurt starter for next time. Nothing fancy in the kitchen. We're just gonna use what we've got. This is gonna be my plain yogurt. I use it on tacos as a substitute for sour cream, like all the time. We also use this a bunch when we're baking our long ferment sourdough biscuits, which is pretty frequent around here. So I'm gonna add some whey to this, mix it up to the consistency that I like, and then I'm gonna set it aside. Our makeshift whey strainer is nice, and if you've ever used whey before, it's kind of slimy might be the best way to say that. I feel like the whey is liquid gold. It is like the most potent byproduct of yogurt is delicious way. So we use this as an ingredient. It's kind of like a sour taste unto itself. And when I'm making cheese, I'll take the whey and just take it straight out to the animals. But this is something you could certainly do more with if you wanted to. We're probably gonna make a huge mess, but I'm just gonna reserve a quart for baking later. And mine has yogurt in it. Like, this is not a pure whey strain, it's fine for me. But if you wanted it to be pure with no yogurt bits in it, then you would just strain it again through a cheesecloth. It's a little golden whey for you. So let's kind of reconstitute our yogurt to a way that we like it. It's really thick now. No one in my family is gonna be excited about that thickness. We'll put some of the whey back in and then just mix it with the immersion blender like I use in the mayo that we've made or the dressings that we've made. Simple kitchen stuff here. You could also mix it with just a whisk if you don't have one. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. I have an enormous jar here. I think I overestimated how much yogurt I was gonna have, but also we need room to add in ingredients. And I don't have any more of the smaller quart-ish size jars because it's all holding milk in the fridge right now. We're gonna add some flavor right now. So I'm gonna go grab those flavors and then we'll add them in respectively. All right, Bo, really get the goodness in here. So I am a double shot espresso kind of girl. I didn't even realize it until I realized what a single shot tasted like. I've tried out this recipe before and I've decided this yogurt is not a double shot espresso recipe, but because I don't know how to make it a single, I just separated the shot in the espresso maker. Here's one, here's two. If you wanna come have a seat with us and have a shot of espresso, welcome to the table. All right, so I'm just gonna put this in here. And remember what I said about all that liquid? Just take account for it when you're gonna flavor any kind of yogurt that you have. I sweeten with maple syrup almost exclusively, not for any reason other than it's just what I use. So I think about it all the time. And then vanilla, Lily Lute says, "To it for sexy." So there we go, we're gonna mix it up. This might be a good side to watch it from. You ready? Know what we need to do?
Plug it in.
Plug it in.
You got this.
I got this. We can do this. Thank you. It's thick. It's like perfect. This is gonna be good. This tastes like my childhood. Oh, it's so good. It's like tangy, coffee flavored, a little bit sweet. You can always adjust the sweetness. If you want more syrup, you go ahead and you put in more syrup. You can do this with honey if you like. This is like Dannon coffee yogurt that my mom would get from the commissary in like 1993, and I remember I hated everything about it, and I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry that I did not appreciate your love of coffee when I was like 9 years old. It's so good. It's so good. We do the exact same thing with the plain, just mix it up. Now we've got an espresso yogurt. This is looking like a weapon, guys. Sorry about that. We've got a plain yogurt. I just added the whey back in because I like it a little bit thinner than how I strained it. So if you strain it longer, obviously there's less whey. Sometimes when you strain it yourself, you get some like kind of like chunkier parts of your yogurt. This just smooths it all out. You can do it with a whisk, that's just fine. This is just fast, and I like faster when I'm making yogurt. So this is a bigger Mamma Jamma. I wish I had a little bit more yogurt to show you like a whole like tank worth of maple syrup vanilla yogurt. This is what Georgia eats almost every day. We put granola on this. We put frozen berries on this. It's just a really quick, high protein, delicious snack. So we've got vanilla again.
That's syrup.
So we've got syrup again. Just put it into your eyeballs taste, you know, because eyeballs taste things. And then your vanilla. It's probably coming out to about a 1/4 cup here and probably 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Adjust it as you need based on how much you're actually flavoring. I'm so good at this. That is perfect. That is so good. I love it. You don't need fancy stuff to make good food. And all you really need is to keep making good food. So you might make some bad bread and you might super fail in smoking your first brisket. But if you do that first and you're just prepared that you're gonna make a mess or you're gonna do something that you don't love and you try again, you're gonna get really good at this. But I am one of those people in the garden, everyone says any idiot can grow zucchini. I am the idiot that cannot grow zucchini. No matter where I live, no matter what season it is, no matter how much sunshine or tending to the garden I do, I cannot do zucchini. If you are someone who can do zucchini but feels like maybe not a great cook, I promise you, this idiot can do yogurt and do yogurt really, really well. And it tastes great and everyone's happy with it. So wherever you're starting from, your own yogurt with your own cow or getting it from the store and then beginning yogurt in the Instant Pot. Like these are easy things you can do. And this is what we're talking about when I say you want to use the good times to prepare for the bad times. If you are learning how to cook from scratch and just the basic science, I would not have known that if I left my yogurt out 2 hours longer in the Instant Pot after it was done, then it starts tasting yeasty. I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't made some mistakes in the kitchen, and I wouldn't have been in the kitchen if I wasn't willing to make those mistakes. So I want to invite you to make really delicious, really satisfying food in your kitchen. Be willing to make the mistakes along the way, and then you get results like fantastic tasting yogurt that every single person in your family likes. Like that's kind of a rarity. Thank you to all our patrons who are supporting us on Patreon, where we're also sharing some exclusive behind the scene talks and walks around our property and little stories and tidbits about our family. Go into your kitchen, make something delicious today. I hope you enjoyed this recipe and we'll see you on the next one.
You hit pressure cook.
Oops.